الأمسية
شوية يطلعون؟
السلام عليكم.
السلام ورحمة الله.
Can everyone hear me well? So thank you for coming. Welcome to the ICC Community Health Panel. My name is Akram Altalibi. I'm honored to be here and to lead the discussion for tonight's program as we explore some of the most important aspects of your health, from medical care to nutrition and everything in between. This is part of a series of monthly events in collaboration with the Government of Canada. So we had an event last month, and inshallah we'll have an event next month and for all the months to come for the next year, inshallah. So hopefully everyone attends. So before we begin, let me introduce myself. I am a pharmacist. I graduated with a PharmD from University of Montreal in 2015. Before that, I obtained a Bachelor's of Science in Microbiology and Immunology from McGill. As a pharmacist, I worked in various settings, but since 8 years, I am working in a specialty pharmacy that specializes mostly in oncology and autoimmune diseases, but also rare diseases and sterile medication production. So a lot of you might not know what a specialty pharmacy is. Does anyone know what a specialty pharmacy is? So it's a new concept, actually. It's relatively new in Quebec. It's been here for a few years, about 10 years, but elsewhere in Canada and in the US, it's been around for much longer. So I'll tell you what it is. Imagine, la samahallah, you or your loved one, someone you love, is diagnosed with a serious or complex illness, like for example, cancer or multiple sclerosis. The medications needed to treat these conditions, they're not the kind of medications that you can just pick up at your local pharmacy. You could, but you might not end up getting the most complete and effective care. These are not common medications, so most pharmacies won't hold them at their pharmacy because they're quite expensive. So usually the range of these medications go from about $10,000 to $30,000 a month. So given the cost, most pharmacies won't keep them in stock because they don't have a lot of patients on these drugs. So it's a financial risk. So usually they order it per request. So that might cause delays when starting a therapy, or when you need to renew a medication. It's not ideal to delay your treatment for these kind of diseases. Also, these specialty medications sometimes need special storage, or they need to be prepared in a certain way. Sometimes the treatment, it's an IV treatment, so an intravenous injection or infusion over half an hour to 1 hour. So usually that needs to be given by a nurse in a clinic, so not at home. So that's something else that usually patients have to manage themselves. And obviously these types of medications have complex or serious side effects. So our role as pharmacists at a specialty pharmacy, we don't just give out the medication, we provide personalized support for the people who need these complex treatments. So we look at a range of issues and provide support on a big range of issues. So for example, regarding the finance, we navigate the insurances to try to get the medication covered. So I don't know if you know how it works. Usually when a medication is prescribed, it's prescribed by the doctor at a hospital, and either the doctor or someone in his office submits a claim to the insurance. So either it's the government that covers the medication for the patient, or if you have a private insurance, then they submit a claim to the private insurance. And either this claim is accepted or refused. So the answer is not immediate. Usually the patient has to wait a few weeks, sometimes a few months, depending on the medication. And a lot of patients need to start the medication right away. So we know these medications. We can help navigate the insurance. We know some keywords to make sure the medication is covered. And we also know that given these expensive medications, the pharmaceutical companies usually provide some kind of support, so there are programs available for these patients. So these programs can give financial assistance. These programs can sometimes give free medications while we wait for the insurance to accept. Or if the insurance refuses, we can either appeal to the insurance to get it approved, or if it's completely refused, depending on the context, sometimes the company can give free medication to the patient indefinitely. So this is all something that we know because we have a lot of experience in them, so we help navigate with the patient. Regarding the medication itself, we make sure it's handled properly. So usually if it's an oral medication, we ship it straight to the patient's home. Or if it's an injection in the clinic, we send it to the clinic. So we make sure, so it's a headache that the patient doesn't have to deal with. We send it to the clinic, it's ready for him the day that he needs to go for his treatment, it's already at the clinic. We also provide regular follow-ups and care regarding side effects, and we work in close collaboration with the patient, the doctors, and the nurses. So this is essentially what I do. More recently, about 3 years ago, I became the team lead supervisor at the pharmacy where I work at. So now I have more of a managerial position where I lead a team of 13 pharmacists in 2 different locations in Montreal and Quebec City. So this is my job in a nutshell. But tonight, I'm not here to talk about myself. As I said earlier, my role is really to present these 2 wonderful people. They will be diving into practical, everyday ways you can take charge of your health. And after that, we'll open up the floor for questions. First, I'll be asking a few questions from them. And then you can ask your questions, you can ask them questions, or you can ask me questions about any type of questions you might have. So let me introduce them. We have 2 wonderful professionals. First, we have Dr. Kadiam Al-Roubaei, who is a graduate from McGill Medical School and is now finishing his residency in family medicine. And we also have Mawaheb aLjumaili, who is both a pharmacist and a nutritionist and a member of ANPQ. She also holds a scope certificate in obesity management from the World Obesity Federation. So I'll let them introduce themselves further during their presentation. So let's introduce them with a big applause, please.
Thank you for that wonderful intro. All right, so hi everyone, my name is Dr. Kadiam Al-Roubaei, and as Akram said, I graduated from McGill Medical School back in 2023, and now I'm finishing my family medicine residency. I'm actually finishing it this month, so I only have a week left, so exciting times. For those of you who don't know what family medicine is, it's a branch of medicine where we really deal with preventative health, and we deal with very common complaints that most people present with. We manage things like diabetes, high blood pressure. We can deal with a wide array of different ailments. And most problems that you have, your family doctor can help you with. Today's presentation, what we'll talk about is general ways you can take care of your health to live a healthier life. So that's why we called it a guide to healthier living. So let's start with that. So what is health? The World Health Organization describes it as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease. So basically, a lot of people think that if you're free of disease, that you're healthy. But that's not always the case. Sometimes you're not sick today, but you can become sick tomorrow, and it's because of the lifestyle that you're leading. So it's not always the case that if you're not unwell today, that you'll never be unwell in your life. So it's very important to take a look at your health and see how you can improve it. So if we look at the main causes of death in Canada, this is a top 10 list, and some of them kind of are grouped together. So we have cancer, so like saratan, heart disease, yani amrad al-qalb, accidents, so hawadith, cerebrovascular disease, chronic lower respiratory diseases, diabetes, infections. If we look at all of these things, a lot of them can be prevented. Actually, most of them can be prevented with a healthier lifestyle. And so that's why it's important. That's why we should talk about this and see what we can do to lead a better lifestyle. So today I'm going to talk about 6 different points that we can see together and see how we can improve our lives. So we're going to start off with nutrition, with exercise, with sleep, stress reduction, avoiding harmful habits, And then screening tests that you can do with your regular family physician if you have one. And if you don't have one, we'll also tell you how you can maybe do these tests as well. So in terms of nutrition, I'm not going to go into depth on it. I think you're going to tell us a lot more than I can say about that. But there are a few good resources for nutrition. So the Canada Food Guide is very good. It gives you an idea of what a healthy diet looks like. My general recommendation is to make it simple. Avoid fatty foods, avoid things that are too sweet, avoid the soft drinks, and try to increase the amount of fruits and vegetables that you eat on a daily basis. So most of these things, if you do them, you'll be able to lead a healthier lifestyle. And everyone knows that a healthy diet will prevent hypertension, so high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, colon cancer, and many, many other diseases. Like, there are so many that I can't even name them today. In terms of the other point that I'd like to talk about is exercise. So generally speaking, we recommend 150 minutes of exercise per week. So that can range from anything. It could be brisk walking, it could be jogging, it could be yoga, tai chi, kung fu, jujitsu, whatever you like, as long as it's something that you enjoy and that you can do on a daily basis and that you can be consistent with. So if you can find something that you enjoy and that you can do with a group, with your family members, it's something that could be very helpful for your health. So everyone knows that once you exercise and you're consistent with your exercise, you'll have a better mood, you'll have better sleep, you'll prevent the chronic diseases that we talked about earlier on. And so it's something to keep in mind and to try to implement in your day-to-day life. The next aspect we'll talk about is sleep. So sleep is a crucial part of a healthy life. Generally, we recommend between 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. Good sleep, again, it'll help your life in so many different ways. One of which is it promotes a proper immune function. So people who sleep less than 6 hours a night, they actually have a decrease in their immune function and they're more prone to infections. So that's why it's very important to have good sleep in your day-to-day life. And now a lot of people, they might have issues with their sleep. They say, oh, well, I can't sleep, I have trouble falling asleep, I have trouble staying asleep, what can I do? There's things that we call sleep hygiene, and these are sleep hygiene techniques that we can help implement in our day-to-day life. One thing I always recommend is to try to avoid screens before bedtime. And the reason we try to avoid screens is because screens emit a blue light. And the blue light, it tricks your brain into thinking it's still daylight. It thinks that the sun is still out, but the sun is not there. So right now we're looking at a screen. It's close to our bedtimes, maybe not the best idea, but we'll let it pass for today. But generally speaking, try to avoid it at least an hour before bedtime, 2 hours if you can. Another thing is to have a fixed routine. So if you have a fixed bedtime, your body gets used to that fixed bedtime. So if you're always sleeping at, let's say, 10 o'clock at night, your body's going to say, oh, okay, so we always go to bed at 10. And then you're going to even start waking up at a fixed time as well. You're not going to need an alarm clock. You're going to have a routine that's going to keep going. And then another thing is to avoid strenuous activity before going to bed. So I said exercise is important, but not too much exercise before bed either. So you need to balance it out as well. The other thing is stress reduction. So stress is a big factor in a lot of people's health. We all face stress. I'm stressed right now. but you know, it's part of life, and we have to learn to deal with it, and we have to learn to adapt to it as well. There are steps that you can take to help manage your stress. But before managing your stress, you have to identify what the triggers to your stress are. So my dad, his biggest stress is me, so he has to avoid me to bring it down. That's fine. So try to find the triggers in your life. So is it your kids? Is it your work? Is it finances? Is it the news? What is the trigger of your stress, and how can you avoid it? And sometimes you don't even need to avoid it. Sometimes you need to find ways to deal with it. So one thing that I recommend is breathing exercises, because this is something that everybody can do. You can do it right now. Basically it is, you take a deep breath, so in through your nose, and out through your mouth. And let's all try to do this. So let's try to do another one. Yeah, all the stress is gone. Everyone's feeling happy. Everyone's feeling healthy. So I'm feeling better too. I'm feeling less stressed now too.
Don't look at your
You will not find work anymore.
I won't find work anymore. Another thing you can do is try to talk to someone. So try to find a family member, a friend, a parent, anyone who you're close to and who can kind of relate to what you're going through, it's a good idea to talk about what you're feeling, and that helps reduce your stress as well. Another factor that we should talk about is avoiding harmful habits. So we talked about a lot of things that you can do in your life, but there's things that you have to remove from your life as well. So smoking is the big thing that we try to tell people to stop. It's a very harmful habit to have. It affects so many different aspects of your health. It affects your blood pressure, it affects your heart, your brain, your lungs, and anything you can name, it'll probably be affected by smoking. So that one's a big factor to take into consideration. It's hard to quit smoking, and if there is anyone that is still smoking, there are methods that you can do to help with that. There's medications that you can take, there's therapies that you can do, there's classes that you can join, so there's always a solution in terms of that. The other thing is screen time. So again, we're looking at a screen, I'm looking at a screen, but we should try to minimize the amount of screen time that we have on a day-to-day basis. And the reason is because when you stare at a screen for too long, you're inactive, which inactivity is another factor that I'm mentioning. Your posture is kind of poor, so I think we're all going to try to sit up right now. You're not moving. You're not being healthy when you're doing that. Another thing is overeating. I think you'll talk about that a bit more, but I won't go into it. But again, it's not a healthy habit to have, so it's something that you should keep in mind. The last thing that I put here, but there's other unhealthy habits, is caffeine consumption. So caffeine, it stays in the body for roughly around like 12 hours. It's actually a bit more, but we'll say around 12 hours. So if you drink a cup of coffee in the morning, you're going to feel the effects until nighttime. So if we drink some tea that we have over there right now, we're going to feel the effect until tomorrow morning. So, maybe it's not the best idea if we're trying to improve our sleep, improve our diet, and all that stuff. So this is the last slide that I have on preventative health screening that you can do with a doctor. So this is not a complete list, but this is some of the things that we do, and it's a good idea if you have a family doctor to try to do some of these things. So we have diabetes screening, cholesterol screening. So those are blood tests that we do to check for diabetes and cholesterol. Usually it starts at around age 40. So anyone who's above 40 should probably get a blood test to get that checked out. And we repeat the blood test every few years, depending on your risk factors. The other one, there's the FIT test, which is to screen for colon cancer. There's Pap test to screen for cervical cancer. There's mammograms to screen for breast cancer. So there's a lot of tests that we can do, and there's a lot of things that you can ask your family physician to do to help with your health. So those are things that you should keep in mind if you want to lead a healthier life. Now the question is, how do you create change? Because we talked a lot about these factors that you can implement in your life, but how do you actually create a change? I don't think anyone's going to step out of here today and is going to modify their life completely. I would say start small, set long-term goals, and try to monitor your progress. And have fun doing it, because health is a journey, it's not a destination. It's something that you're going to live with on a day-to-day basis. And so what can you do today? I would say pick one aspect of the 6 that we talked about and try to start working on it. So if it's exercise, maybe start by walking 5 minutes a day. If it's your diet, maybe try by reducing the amount of soft drinks that you have on a day-to-day basis. Whatever it is, just try to pick something and try to work on it. And if you have more questions about that, we'd be happy to answer it, and we'd be happy to share more info about that.
Function if you live in.
Function if you live in?
Assalamu alaikum everybody. My name is Mawaheb. I was in Iraq a pharmacist, and here I studied the nutrition. I also am a member of AMPQ, and now I'm studying the master degree in nutrition. So I have also the SCOPE certificate. It's an international degree in obesity management. So if there's anything regarding the nutrition or diet program, I'm today ready to help. So just I will skip the health plate because I want to start with this. How can I I know am I in danger? So if there is any estimation that I can make at home, so I can figure out there is something wrong or my weight is on the edge. So there is something we call BMI. You can just calculate it now if you want. The BMI is dividing the weight. Thank you. Dividing the weight over the height square in meter. So if you just calculate it now for yourself, you will maybe have this results. If it is below the 18.5, you are underweight. If you are between 18.5 to 24.9, you are normal weight. But the problems start with the overweight, which is the BMI is from 25 to 29.9. So there is obesity class 1, obesity class 2, and obesity class 3. Am I using the BMI in the clinic with my clients? Yes, but I'm telling you, it's not accurate. You can't just consider I'm overweight, so I must do something, because you know, maybe you have skinny arms, skinny legs, but you have just a big abdomen. In Iraqi, it's karish. So you are not healthy, because there's a visceral fat which is pushing your organs. So you must consider exactly the next step, which is the waist girth or the waist circumference. It's easy way to do it at home. There is a normal values for men and women. It's before 27 to 24 centimeter for men and 64 to 80 for women. It's totally normal. The problems start from the obese, the high risk you can see. If your waist girth is more than 102 for men and more than 88 centimeter for women, oops, it's not good news. You must pay attention about your weight. You must make a move. You must start with, like Dr. Khadim said, with small steps. Maybe take an opinion of a professional or someone who will guide you correctly. Because you know the social media, the Google, the YouTube is full of news, but you can't correctly understand if it is fit with you, with your situation or no. So this is accurate. This is, I can depend on my clients. And there's also the waist to hip ratio. It's also a comparison. It's effective way to examine original fat distribution. What is your fat is located exactly? It's the same way. It's very accurate, and you can depend on it. The high risk, if the ratio is more than 1 for men and more than 0.25 for women, is simply you are dividing the waist circumference over the hip circumference. So I advise you when you get home today to take the waist circumference and the hip ratio and know, are you healthy or no? No, not thank you. Very early. So, what is nutrition? Simply, the nutrition is taking and use of food and other nutrition material by the body. It is the fuel of your body. So, if you want to take a view about your health, take a view about your plate. It's a simple way. You are what you eat. If you take a look about your plate, if it is full with bad or trans fat or unhealthy fat, full with carbs, no protein or minimum amount of protein, oops, it's not a good plate that you consider yourself you are healthy. No, we will take another look about what should I eat. Your plate should contain protein, vegetables, carbs, fat, fruits, fibers, vitamins, and minerals. If you eat correctly, you don't need to take a supplement. There's everything in your food. If your plate contains all these materials in good amount, for sure, you will not have the need to take a supplement from the pharmacy. Sorry. So this is my healthy plate.
my healthy plate should divide it to one half of it is vegetables and fruits, and you can see here the vegetables is the majority of your plate, of the half of your plate. The whole grains is 1/4 of your plate, and the healthy protein is the other quarter. There is also you can see the healthy oils and the water, and there is a small notes of stay active, like Dr. Khan said. So protein, what is the protein that you can take? Fish, red meat, eggs, chicken, shrimp, lentil, legumes, dairy products, all of this considers as protein. And as I said, it should be located as 1/4 of your plate. Vegetables is all kind of vegetables that you know, carrots, pepper, okra, tomatoes, cucumber, all vegetables except the starchy vegetables. So what is the starchy vegetables? You can see it here, the beans, the potatoes, the corn, the pumpkin, and the sweet potato also is not considered as a vegetables. So if you are eating your plate and so you put your starchy vegetables as the 1/4 with the vegetables, no, it's not a good idea, no. Because the starchy vegetables are carb. They are complex carb. They are healthy carb, but you should locate it at only 1/4 of your plate. That's all. And it's also depends on the way of cooking. You don't consume the fries. It's deep fried your fries and you put it as a carb. No, it's not a good way. So the complex carb, for sure. Eating a non-complex carb is variable. It depends on your situation. If you have a condition that obliges you to take a complex carb, so take it. It's not completely that you oblige yourself to take 100% of complex carb, because it's very difficult to put it in your routine. But you can just assume you take the majority of your carb as a complex carb, like a brown rice or whole wheat bread, the quinoa, the whole wheat pasta, also the starchy vegetables. It's a good thing to do. Keep in mind the basmati rice, because it's popular in Iraq, we love it very much. It's considered as a moderate glycemic index. You can take it, especially if you boil it. It's the way of cooking the rice. It could be a good and healthy choice. So, because I don't like the brown rice, for sure. The connection between us and the rice, you know it, Iraqi people. Yeah. Healthy fat. What are the healthy fat? Olive oil, avocado, nuts, salmon, and seeds, all of that. It's considered as healthy fats. Other oils that you can see in the markets, I can't advise you to take it, but the list here is a good source of the healthy fat. You can see here the list, good fats and bad fats. In Canada, there's rules about not making the trans fat in our products. So relax. This is for the Middle East people, not us. For sure, if you are going on if you're deciding to go through your healthy lifestyle, the good fat versus bad fat, you must increasing the consuming of healthy fat and decreasing consuming of bad fats. Bad fats you can see here in junk food, fries, processed cheese, and fat meat. Okay. Fast food addiction. I have here some notes, which is the bliss point. Maybe a lot of you didn't hear about the bliss point. What is the bliss point? The bliss point is something, it's a measured point of sugar, salt, and fat that you cannot resist. That is the reason when you are open the chips or there's a fries with some additives on it, you can take one bite and then, oh, I will take another, oh, I'm taking another, and oops, you cannot resist until the bag is off. So it's not your fault, okay? It's the fault of the company, because they are happy that you are consuming the bag and you are returning to the market and getting another one. So I'm not ideal. I'm not going to say to you, don't take it, don't consume it, but be wise and buy the small bag of your favorite chips or another. It's simple to apply. Your plate is here, put the vegetables, put the protein, and put the complex carb, and that's it. Other habits to include, like Dr. Kam said, sleep, especially for ladies after 40. No one else after here? Yeah, sure. But just in case if you are after 40, you can just keep in mind, it's very, very, very important because the sleep is overlapped with the hormone imbalance after 40. So when the 11 p.m. is here, just go to bed and don't take the me time at night. You can have the me time at the morning. It's not necessary to be after 12 a.m. Well, hydration, you can hear from the social media or the nutritionist or the doctor, you can just be hydrated. But what exactly the exact amount for you? You can just multiply, if you are now interested, to multiply your weight by 1.03 to know the exact amount of water that you should consume. But this equation is for healthy people, for the people with renal problems, irritable bowel syndrome. No, there is another equation for them. This is for the healthy persons. Organize your meal time and fix it. Snacking. Your pancreas, your insulin is tired and just going up and down. So please, snacking is very bad idea. It's very bad habit to include in your routine. So fix your meal time. Maybe in the weekend, occasionally you can miss one meal. It's okay. I'm talking about an average. That fix your meal time at a proper time for the persons, especially who are thinking to reduce their weight. This is very important rule for them. Dr. Kadiam just spoke about the stress, and stress, for sure, is from my point of view, is a source of another serious healthy problems. So لا تستهينوا بالستريس حقيقة. It's a source of a very unpleasant diseases that I know. So there is a way to de-stress matters, like avoid negative persons. Herbal remedies is effective in some way. Meditation, chewing ice. It's a very weird information, but it works. Deep breath techniques, like Dr. Kadiam says, and get help from a professional. Please, I know you have your close friend, your mom, you can talk with, but if the problem is very severe, please make a consultation with someone expert and choose someone who will understand you, will understand your background, because if it is too late, it's too late to get rid of this problem. This is the very important rule, and most of my clients love this rule. It's 80-20. Because we are not robots, we are human beings. We can make some skips, mistakes, yeah, for sure. You can see me once in a junk food restaurant, yes, I will be there. Because food is not the only source of happiness, but it's one of the sources of my happiness. I can go there with my family, it's not a big deal. But this is the 80% of your life, if you can do it and go through it with a healthy lifestyle. And then there is 20%, you can just make small mistakes from here to here. You can go with your friends, some restaurants, it's not a big deal. You can just take a break from this healthy lifestyle. So once my client said, which is that 80% is the healthiest way or not healthy, he was assuming that the 80% is taking a not healthy lifestyle. No, the 80% is the healthy lifestyle, and the 20% is your cheating habits. Okay? This is the summary notes for all I have said, and the scale is a fake friend because you can take your weight now and maybe you can take a cup of water, but then you will have another weight on the scale. Oops, it's up. No. Is it fat on that scale? No. It's a fake friend. It will not give us the details information about your fat distribution, your actual weight. No, I cannot. Even I know the good relationship between the client or between the person, and the scale, but for me, I will not consider it as an accurate way to consider if you are healthy or not. And remember, it's like I said, you are what you eat. If you eat all the items that I have said before, you will not be needing the consuming of supplements. It's not necessary because there is all of them in your plate. So I have said that, and thank you.
So thank you very much, both of you, for these amazing insights. I think we've all lived eating through a whole bag of chips in 5 minutes. So I'm going to start the Q&A question and answer segment. I'm going to start by asking a question myself. But before that, I'll just mention, so I'm sure many of us have seen all the countless videos being shared on social media, on WhatsApp, promoting some kind of miracle supplement that can cure cancer, or the magic cream that can make you look young again. So these are shared widely within our community, unfortunately. And I often see them being recommended, or I often see supplements be recommended by friends, family, or even famous people online. I'll give you my opinion on all of this. Please be careful. Please be very cautious. Because what a lot of people don't realize is that the industry is called natural product industry, so it sounds nice. People like natural stuff. But the reality is the natural product industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, very similar to the pharmaceutical industry. And what's worse is that these products, well, a lot of these products, most of these products, not all, but most of these products, they have little or no scientific evidence behind them. So that means there's no solid proof that they actually work. And a lot of times these can cause side effects that we don't know of. They can interact with some medications that you're already taking. And even if all this didn't exist, these products, they're not cheap. So I know a lot of patients that ask me about products, and I look at their list of products, and it's hundreds of dollars every month that essentially could be wasted in, like Dr. Mawaheb said, it's a waste of money because a lot of times you don't need supplements if you have a healthy diet. So that's why it's important to speak with a pharmacist before taking any supplements. So I'm here for you. So my question is, from your perspective, how should people evaluate whether a supplement is safe or effective? And what advice would you give people who feel pressured to take something natural without medical guidance? So for either of you.
In terms of supplements, as you said, a lot of times there's not enough evidence to back them, and then it's hard for us to make a recommendation when it comes to that, because usually in medicine, we don't like making a recommendation if we don't have enough data on it. Obviously, sometimes there's what's called anecdotal evidence. My friend took it, he's feeling better, so I think this supplement is good. We generally try to say is, if you're doing everything that you need to be doing from a health perspective, you're sleeping, you're eating right, you're exercising, you're not going to need these things in your life. And so you don't necessarily need them. But if you really feel that you want to try them, be cautious, do your own research. From our perspective, we won't recommend it. I generally, I find it very hard for me to recommend supplements, especially when there's not enough evidence on it, because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if they're going to come out in 10 years and say, oh, this supplement caused cancer, or this supplement caused heart disease, or it caused liver problems. I don't know, so I won't actually make the recommendation. But I would ask you to stay informed and try to see what you can find in terms of that. And if ever there's enough evidence to come out, and then us as doctors, we start recommending them, I will recommend them. Generally speaking, be cautious, try to live a healthy lifestyle. If you can have a healthy lifestyle, you won't need any of these things to begin with.
I can see that if you decided to take a supplement, don't try it because your friend just tried it before, because your situation is different from the situation of your friend, and it's not cheap. The simplest supplement now is, I think, more than $25 and maybe reach to $100. So it's a waste of money if you are not in that need to that supplement. And even in the supplement, you must take an advice of an expert, because even in the, I can give an example for the magnesium. It's depend on the conjugation of the salt. There is a magnesium glycinate, magnesium furamate, there is the magnesium threonate. It's depending on your situation exactly. So you should take an advice of an expert before deciding to take that supplement for sure. And there is a lot of interaction between the drug that you are using or your medical situation and the supplement. So you must first take an advice from an expert. Then, if it's okay to you, you can try it. But mostly, like I said, if your nutrition is good, you will have not that need to take the supplement. Just to try from your plate, try from your nutrition, then skip to the next step, which is the supplement.
Thank you very much. About cardiovascular disease, unfortunately, many people in our community suffer from cardiovascular disease. It could be high blood pressure, sometimes people have high cholesterol, diabetes. So these are chronic diseases. Often they can be prevented by lifestyle modifications and diet. Also, once you're diagnosed, a lot of people, close people, and I hear from a lot of people think that just by taking a medication that's prescribed to them, that is enough. But the reality is far from that. Actually, it's been shown that people with mild or moderate disease, or for people that haven't been diagnosed yet, but they're in pre-diabetic, or they have high cholesterol, but it's not in the dangerous levels yet, it's been shown that just changing your lifestyle and your diet, it could be almost 2 times more effective than taking medications. So I have 2 questions, one for each of you. For Dr. Mawaheb, can you give us your input about the importance of diet in this regard? And for Dr. Kaaظm, how do you decide if it's appropriate to begin medication right away, or whether it's best to recommend a lifestyle modification, lifestyle changes first?
Like I said before, just to start with your healthy plate. It's a good start. It's not very difficult to perform in your house. Just grab a plate and divide it, like we said before. It's very easy way. It's very important tool is to take a prophylaxis from the disease before we getting that disease, because it will be difficult for you to start when you have that disease. So prophylaxis is very good way to be healthy. So it's I think the healthy plate is a good way, and the other advices too, the physical activity, the hydration, the de-stress, all of that advices is very important to you to include in your lifestyle routine before getting that disease, especially if you have a family member or family history with that disease.
In terms of medication, so it depends. There are times where a patient's values are very critical and you have to start medication right away. So if somebody, let's say you have a newly diagnosed diabetes and their A1C is 10, which is very high, you would have to start medication right away. So you still recommend the lifestyle factors and the lifestyle changes, but you also need to give medication because it's a dangerous situation that they're in that could kill them imminently. So that's kind of a situation where I would start medication right away. Sometimes if a person comes in, their blood pressure is 200, right? A normal blood pressure is around 120/80. I would start medication right away. So there are times where you really need to do it this instant right now because it could kill them if they go on longer. Now, most people, that's not the case for them. Most people, they come in, they're borderline, blood pressure is a bit higher than normal, their sugar is a bit higher than normal, their cholesterol, it's higher than normal, and you have time to work with them. In these cases, most of the time, it's a discussion that you have with the person. You explain that, hey, if you adopt these lifestyle changes, you'll be able to cure these diseases. Not just like prevent them, you'll be able to cure them. You won't be diabetic anymore. You won't have high blood pressure anymore. But the thing is, they have to be willing to make that change. And a lot of times I'll have patients that say, just give me the medication, I'll go that way. That's a decision that they can make. It's not a decision I recommend. What I recommend is do the lifestyle changes. Try to make healthy habits a part of your life. And if you can do that, you won't even need these medications. And a lot of times we give medications to solve an issue, but then you'll develop other issues from the medication that we gave you, and then we give you another medication to solve the issue of the first. So it starts becoming a circle, like a vicious circle. And we're trying to treat you, but you also need to put in some effort on your part. So lifestyle changes, you always do them. But then when you start the medication, it depends on the severity, and it depends on the person's willingness to change as well.
So I'm going to ask one more question, but if you have, does the audience have?
We have questions.
Go
ahead.
No, it's okay. I'll wait. Because I prepared my question.
Thank you very much for this valuable information. And actually, I have two questions. I write it down to avoid forgetting. My first question, how we can calculate that system you told us about it, like 80-20? Is it like, for example, per week it will be one meal or open day? That's the first question.
Do you want to start at the second one?
No, I'd like to know more information about that system, 80-20.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
20 it be one meal by week, for example,
Okay.
or one day.
One whole day.
One whole day, exactly. Because
Okay.
we heard in the diet system there is
Yeah.
open day.
Okay. Open day is very big mistake.
Okay.
Don't take that big mistake in your system if you are on a diet,
Yes.
right? You are on a diet. So that
I have lifestyle. I follow
Okay.
lifestyle.
for your first question, do it easy. Don't think about it. Okay, you are you're taking your complex carb. You are not taking the fried meals. You are not taking what we said about. And it's occasionally happen that you are at your friend and there is your favorite sweet. Okay, just don't think about it. Okay, I will take it. Don't just be stressed about this point. Okay, because you must be happy. Life is simple.
I have one day.
No, I'm not advising you to take the whole day as a cheating day, you can say. Yes, a cheating day. No, it's a meal that when you decide to take it, okay? And maybe it will be 2 weeks you are ideal, and it happens twice a week you are not ideal. It's okay, okay?
The second question, I have to I forget what the second question.
Take your time.
Okay, I will ask after because I write it down.
Okay, don't worry.
تعالي هنا حتى يطلع بالبث.
شكرا جزيلا مرة ثانية على كل معلوماتكم المفيدة. أسأل سؤال على الهيلثي بليت. 80% أو مو 80% قسمتوها الخضروات والبروتين. شو ممكن نطبق هالفكرة على وجبة عراقية مثلا تمن مرق فاصوليا. وين الكاربز وين التمن واضح مثلا المرقة مثلا شو ممكن نطبق هذه الكونسبتس على أكل عراقي على مود يعني إحنا أمهاتنا سووا أكل عراقي.
Okay, choose a meal, and I will divide it for you.
تمن مرق فاصوليا.
تمن مرق فاصوليا. It's your favorite meal.
لا بس هذا أصعب واحد لي يعني.
No, the hardest one is dolma. Yes, you can put dolma. Why not?
Then dolma.
Okay, if you are deciding to take dolma, okay, the half of your plate you can put what? A salad, right?
Salad.
Yeah, and you can just put the carrot and onion and tomatoes and with the dolma. It's okay. Just put it in the half of your plate. And I advise you to put in your salad the leafy vegetables because it's good. Because I think the dolma is greasy, so the fibers in the green leafy vegetables will help you. Okay. It will not. Okay. The protein. You know, in the dolma we put minced meat inside the dolma. No, you won't. I'm sure there is a minced meat inside the dolma, and I advise you to put another source of a protein like yogurt, or maybe if you have just put meats at the bottom of the dolma, see, and you can just put it at the 1/4 of protein, and you can just put the dolma at the 1/4. Are you satisfied?
I'm satisfied. We need a recipe book from you, maybe.
Okay. Do you want to take another example? I'm very happy to help. The beans? The beans? Okay.
قول باني حبيبي
يلا باني نحضرهم.
بامية سهلة. بامية سهلة جدا. البامية وين؟ بامية؟ خضار. إذا بس it's not logic إنه أخليها مع السلطة، فأخليها one small bowl وأخليها البورشن مالت الفيجيتابلز، وأكمل الباقي من الفيجيتابلز اللي موجودة عندي السلطة. البامية بيها لحم ولا لا؟
بيها لحم.
لازم عراقي أصيل أنت إيه. فنخلي اللحم as 1/4 of your plate and the left الكوارتر الباقي هو تخليه الرايس.
إذا راح أسوي تريد سلم.
You can put تريد. الخبز وين؟ بس يعني حيكون الخبز مع التمن بالكوارتر مالتنا. Or you can take the rule of 20-80, okay, and take that meal as a cheat.
20%?
No. 80% is the healthy, and 20% is the dolma and the bamia. Okay.
شكرا جزيلا.
أهلا.
سوري دوما تكون ربع، مو دوما تكون 3-4 دومات.
ربع. Actually يعني احنا بنقسم الحجم الصحن depending on your size، بس هذه يعني a lot of details to include in this lecture. بس هو depending on your category of weight, I can measure your plate. So for sure, if you are more than 100, your plate will be bigger than if you are less than 100. So, but make it simple. 1/4. But I don't think with Doma you will be satisfied with 1/4. I'm not sure. Yes, I'm sure. I advise you to take. You have this okay from me.
تكلمتوا على انه ما ناخذ سبلمنت، بس احنا كل الدكاتره يقولون لنا لازم تاخذوا فيتامين دي. حتى حاولت ابطل، قلت لهم شمس الدنيا فما راح اخذ، قالت لي منو قشمالك؟ You have to take 1000 every day. ما تبطليها قالت لي don't take vitamin C, you don't need it, it's included in everything, but you have to take vitamin D.
So actually the evidence has changed on vitamin D. Before we used to recommend it because we used to say most people are deficient in vitamin D. Now with newer studies it actually shows that there is more harm to taking it, even if you are deficient, as opposed to not taking it. So actually we don't even recommend it anymore unless there's specific reasons. So if you do have osteoporosis, then that's a case where you would take it. But yeah, generally speaking, for health, we don't recommend it anymore. So it depends. That's why I said I don't really recommend any supplements anymore. For healthy people with no diseases, we usually don't recommend anything. And
غريبة لأن دكتورتي شابة صغيرة وأصرت إنه لازم أروح أشتري دائما، بس يعني أفوت، بس تقولي لازم تاخذين ألف.
You can just يعني هو ال 1000 international unit is prophylaxis dose. It's not for treatment of your deficiency of vitamin D. So you can take it's a prophylaxis dose. It's not for treatment of your if you have deficiency of vitamin D. So you can take it the prophylaxis dose. But for me, with my client, I must say that when this is winter, I recommend them to take vitamin D because there is no sunlight in Canada. But when there is summer, it's stop. This is my opinion. I'm not sure.
والسؤال الثاني يعني ما أعرف إذا تسوي أبو الصيدلية راح يبيع لي فيتامين.
So about the vitamin D, so essentially what we said is it's best not to take supplements unless they're recommended to you. فمو واحد يروح يشتري أي شيء مش موجود. Vitamin D is recommended in certain conditions. Earlier I mentioned multiple sclerosis, for example. الناس اللي عندهم multiple sclerosis is recommended to take high doses of vitamin D. فراح يقولوا لكم تاخذون فيتامين دي. لو إذا واحد عنده osteoporosis for example. لو أحيانا واحد إذا في واحدة عندها breast cancer for example يعطوها أدوية حتى تقلل الأستروجين. وإذا هو قل الأستروجين بالبادي البونز are more fragile, so they recommend. But so cool reasons why you have to take vitamin D. لو بالوينتر for example إحنا بكندا بس إذا عايشين في العراق they're not going to have to take vitamin D. I didn't know that. So unless it's recommended to you, and if you're not sure, you can always ask if it's something that you should take. But in general, most supplements are not necessary.
السؤال الثاني هذا الثاني بعد يعني انتم دكاتره تستعملون الجوجل مثلنا ولا لا؟ لانه ما رحت الدكتور 3 دكاتره رحت كان عندي حاله صارت عندي اول ما اروح عنده يندر على الكمبيوتر يباوع جوجل فاني استغربت. وهل تستعملون شات جي بي تي ولا لا؟ بعد ما وصلت للمرحله.
So yeah, نستعمل chat GPT and نستعمل Google. It's different. We know what we're looking for. يعني these are search engines. Yeah, these are search engines where you're looking for something specific. So if you know what you're looking for, you'll be able to find it. But if you do a blind search without the knowledge that is prerequisite to know to apply it, it's going to be difficult. So you have to know what information you're looking for, but we also have our own resources that we use. That's not just Google, that's not just ChatGPT, and it's more like doctor specific and that we can use for patients. But at the end of the day, we're searching for knowledge, and we're trying to give the best knowledge that's available. And sometimes with our experience, we know what we're looking for, and we know the resources that are good for patients, and we know the resources that aren't so good. So it's okay if a doctor checks something on Google. What? Yeah, but it's okay if you search on Google. I think most people use Google on a daily basis.
بس صدقيني هذا it's not accurate. صدقيني يعني أنا ترايت مرة شات جي بي تي معلومات عن يعني شو من عندها 100%. It was inaccurate. So don't يعني think إنه chat GPT will give you the correct results 100%. So when I told him that this is not the correct answer, he said to me, "I'm sorry for the confusion, blah blah blah." So, yeah, sure. But for sure, I can take a second opinion. I can see what happened, but my resources is what I studied in my diploma. So.
وبالفعل كان يحضرون منا مؤخرا كان تقرير خصوصا بامريكا كثير من الناس ما قاموا يروحون بعد الفاميلي دكتور قاموا يستسهلوه يروحون للجي بي ويسألوه بالأعراض اللي عندهم بالمرض. دكتورة مواهب ممكن نرجع للشارت مارتج هذا الويت تقسيم الهايت. الهايت متر لو سنتيمتر؟
لا بالمتر سكوير. اوكي يعني الويت كي جي.
اقول طلعت
لا
قراءات غريبه.
بالمتر
متر سكوير.
يس يعني الهايت بالمتر وسكوير يطلع لك وحده من الارقام هذه. بس I'm telling you يعني هي مو accurate ابدا. بس احنا يعني انا اطلبها يعني بالعياده I calculate it for my clients. بس اللي يهمني اكثر اللي حكيت عليها بعدين اللي هي الويست سيركمفرنس والهيب ريشيو.
طلعت خارج الشارت.
لا recalculated again you will see.
هذا السؤال للدكتور والدكتور مواهب والدكتور كاظم. الميتابوليزم هو اللي على اساس يحرق الكالوريز جسم الانسان. فهذه المشكله انه وراثيا قسم من الناس عندهم هذا يشتغل ضعيف وقسم يشتغل قوي. ويعني شفناه عمليا، يعني شخصين مثلا يقومون ياكلون نفس الاكل ونفس الحركه، فواحد تلقيه ضعيف وواحد. فهل هناك يعني سبلمنت او دواء طبي to activate more هذا الميتابوليزم؟
يعني الميتابوليزم صح، يعني في ناس الميتابوليزم مالتهم اقوى، الناس مالتهم شويه احسن، بس most of the time it's really يعني الدايت والاكسرسايز مالتهم. ويا العمر الميتابوليزم يقل، that's true. يعني older people their metabolism slows down. But most people يعني you can use, there's calculators, they're not very accurate online. يعني there's like a basic metabolic rate calculators and things like that gives you an idea of how much you need to be taking in and how much you're expending to stay at a healthy weight. I would say I wouldn't go for the supplements, I wouldn't go for the medication unless there's a medical reason to do it. So unless you're severely overweight and you know it's a danger for your health, sometimes we will prescribe medication to help with the weight loss. But if it's just your metabolism is a bit slower and you eat a bit less and otherwise you're healthy, it's just the way you are. It's just the way that your body is, and you adapt to it. But I don't. I wouldn't say you should be taking supplements to make it faster or anything like that, unless it's bad for your health. I don't know if you understand.
Yes, for sure there is a genetic factor in families. يعني مرات يجيني الكلاينت عنده family history strong insulin resistance, pre-diabetic or it's يعني منتشرة بالعائلة مالتهم. فطبعا النورمال أو البالانس ميل أو البالانس روتين ذات يعني أنا أمضيه ممكن يشوف struggling with them. يعني ما لازم أنا ويا أسوي فد evaluation with details. مرات هو مثلا الكلاينت يقول لي أنا حرقي ضعيف. هاي الجملة اللي أسمعها دائما، بس لما أسوي ويا evaluation of يعني إحنا نسميه 24 record كل يوم بالضبط شنو الهابتس مالته، أكتشف كثير الأخطاء. هو يظن إنه هو ما مسوي خطأ بس هو مسوي أخطاء. فعلى أساس الإيفالويشن إحنا نجرب ويا البالانس دايت. شفنا وطبعا ناخذ معلومات عن الفاميلي هيستوري والعائلة واللاب داتا اللي عنده. بعدها إذا شفنا عنده مقاومة أو هو ستراجل متى ينزل وزنه، ذاك الوقت احنا نسوي مانيبيوليشن بالميل اللي بنعطيه، نلعب بكمية الكارب، بالفيزيكال اكتيفيتي. طبعا يعني احنا الشعوب العربية قليل ما نلقى شخص ملتزم بالفيزيكال اكتيفيتي، اكو كسل. يعني لازم نعترف بهذا الموضوع. يعني احنا عندنا حتى لما نلتقي ويا صديق او ويا صديقه، وين نلتقي بيا مطعم وش راح تجيبي الاكل، هذا الشيء الاساسي اللي احنا نسمعه. بس حقيقة إنه بس أبعد عن فكري إنه الفود is not the only resource of my happiness. أنا حرتاح. أكمل على اللي قلته، إنه أنا أسوي manipulation بالكارب percentage، البروتين، الفات، ونفس الوقت أعرضه على الوياي، ونفس الحالة هم أشوف الريدكشن مالت الويت مالته. فهي إنه تحتاج بالجايدنس من أحد يكون إكسبرت حتى يكون وياك بالرحلة.
وين الواحد يلتقي ذا مو بالكافيه والمطعم؟
نلتقي بس ما شرط يكون هابي ميل.
بالبارك. لا وين يعني بالباسكت بول كورت؟
بس ما شرط انه اني اطلب مثلا اروح مثلا تيم هورتنز، ما شرط انه اطلب مفن، ما شرط. يعني هناك يروحون كانه واجب وطني مقدس انه انا لازم اطلب من السويتس موجوده. لا، اخذ من الخيارات. هي صح، انا اعترف الخيارات حتكون محدوده بس اكن مانج. اوكي، وانا دائما انصح الكلاينتس اللي وياي اذا هم على دايت بروجرام، وين ما تروحون انتم اكو يعني ساك موجود به ناتس مكسرات، لو جست ان كيس انت انحرجت بمكان ما، انت عندك يور هيلث سناك. اي مكسرات. لا شوفي البورشن، اذا اخذتي بورشن تمام لا تخافين، بس نفس الشيء. يعني احنا ما نقتنع اذا ما كانت بوله كبيره من المكسرات، بس اذا اخذتيها بورشن تمام لا تخافي، بالعكس.
هذاك السؤال
ذكرت في
I don't need to speak in English, as everybody in this hall can speak and understand Arabic very well, except one person, his wife will translate to him afterwards. وجودنا هنا اللي جالسين الكل، أي واحد عنده مرض معين أكيد هذا المرض راح بوجود شبابنا الأطباء ما شاء الله من جاليتنا. الحمد لله الجالية وصلت مراحل طيبة من التحصيل العلمي اللي نفتخر بهم حقيقة. فكل الأمراض راحت لما شفناهم. أنا شخصيا ما راح عندي تعليقين. one for Dr. Kazim. What will be the negative consequence when I go to bed between 1 and 2 early morning?
Yeah, the negative consequence of if you go to bed late.
Like,
yeah, it depends. Are you doing this every day? يعني
most of the days of the week.
وكم ساعة يعني تعمل؟
After Salat al-Fajr for half an hour or 15 minutes, I go back to bed until 9.
Until 9. يعني بالليل يمكن 8 ساعات.
No.
From 1 to 9 though. From 1.
No, 3.
From 3 to 9.
No. From 1 or 2.
From 1 or 2.
To 9.
Okay. So يعني هو generally speaking, nighttime is when we are meant to sleep. It's the best time for us to sleep. We have a diurnal rhythm. So our hormones, they function in a way where our cortisol goes up in the morning, then dips back down, then goes up in the afternoon, and goes lower at night. So our body is designed to sleep at night. And when we kind of stray away from that, it can have some negative health consequences on us. The best way to see this is that there's research done on people who work the night shift. And so people who consistently work night shifts, we find that they have more diseases, and it's harder for them to lose weight. It's harder for them to maintain healthy habits. So these are things that we've seen in people who, like, they're working a night shift. So I can say we can correlate that information to what you're doing right now. You're sleeping late, you're waking up at a relatively early time, but it's probably better to sleep earlier in the night, and it's probably healthier for you to sleep earlier. And now what the long-term consequences will be, it'll probably cause more chronic diseases as life goes on. So maybe more issues with blood pressure, maybe more issues with diabetes, maybe more issues down the path. So if you're able to kind of modify it, it would be better, I would say.
Akram, how about taking 1 full spoon of حبة البركة, زيت حبة البركة every day? How about that? Don't run away from it. زيت حبة البركة daily, one spoon.
Did you ask ChatGPT? No, actually, a lot of people have these. They're called grandmother recipes or things that came down through the generation. I don't have anything against them. I don't have anything against taking not supplements but actual foods and spices and teas. These are usually not concentrated enough to cause side effects unless you really eat a lot of it, like a lot, I mean kilograms of it, or and they don't usually interact with medications either. So I can't answer your question if it's okay or not. This in general, I don't see any harm in taking food. What I want to avoid is I want to avoid people buying concentrated pills at pharmacies. For example, there's a concentrated, people say that garlic is good for you. Garlic is good for a lot of things. So people go to the pharmacy and buy the concentrated version of garlic and take it regularly. But the problem is that with that is it can cause, it can cause stomach issues, it can cause ulcers, it can affect medications, interact with medication, increase the risk of bleeding. So if you eat a lot of garlic, it's okay, there's nothing wrong with that. That's not concentrated enough to cause any damage, but if you go and buy the pill of garlic, this might not be the best thing for you, and it might not be necessary. So I hope that answers your question.
Question is like moral model. So the $30,000 per month medication, so people live to pay the mitigation or take mitigation to live? Which is one? That's for you, I know it is not, but the other question for the nutrition. So also people is under stress. This is the life now here, right? The expenses, the rent, the children, the school, the problem, family, all these work problems. So one of the recommendations is to take meditation, right? One friend said he will go to the meditation, he think about these things. So, not serious, he said, you go meditation and all these come, the children, the money, the rent, the work, the boss, is there a lifestyle food to decrease or to make it better living?
Stress.
The stress, yeah, about the depression and stress, yeah.
Well, I'm just going to answer his cost. So about the cost, the $30,000, yes, there are a lot of medications that are that expensive. The good news is we don't live in the US, we live in Canada. So most of it is covered by either the government or the private insurance. Usually what you need to pay out of pocket is the copay. So then it's تقريبا 20% of the cost per year. But even that, for those, like I said earlier, for those expensive medications, usually there's programs provided by companies that can give financial assistance. So most of the time you don't need to pay the copay out of pocket either. So you have financial assistance. So that's what we help with to navigate all this. So I know you don't live to pay them.
You know, because sometimes they have to pull the plugs, and the next door they pull the plugs. It's too expensive to do.
So for the stress, you know, if you make a commitment with the healthy plate, just you are in good hands, because you are choosing the good complex carb, the good healthy fat, the good vegetables that will give you a lot of vitamins and minerals that is very essential for your immune system and for being in good health. But what the reality is, when you are in stress, especially women, not men, when they are in stress, they are just force themselves, or they can take the happiness from the sweets. You know, that is the mistake that we are making with the stress management. When the person that I'm seeing, that she told me that I'm very stressed, that I'm subconsciously opening the fridge, I'm taking the chocolate. That is the mistake that we are doing. So if you make a commitment with the health plate and making the rule 80 on 20, you are good. And the physical activity, you know, the physical activity is not about just reducing calories or losing calories. It's about elevating the happiness hormones, the endorphin and the serotonin. This give you a happiness. So you can just try, if you make your physical activity at the morning of your day, you are energetic all that day. You are happy. So one of the first line of treating
before the breakfast or after?
is depending on the severity of the physical activity. I can't advise to make a severe physical activity before your breakfast, but maybe just moderate physical activity, maybe walking or 15 minutes, maybe it's okay. But the severe physical activity, no, I cannot advise to make it to take it before the breakfast, okay? Because your body will need the calories for sure. So what I've said, I lose my thoughts. Yes, for the physical activity, the first line of treating the depression is making the physical activity. Sometimes it's very difficult for the person, because she told me I don't have the energy to make the physical activity. But my advice is to start with maybe 5 minutes, maybe walking, especially in this good weather. It's a good start. Then increase for your time for the physical activity step by step. Don't push yourself 30 minutes or 1 hour.
That's so true. When I was in Iraq, when there was bombs and all the explosions, I was there. All my family is outside, not in Iraq. So I was really stressful. So I took really very, very strict diet, like egg, salad in the morning, lentil and chicken breast in the lunch, and the dinner like fish and salad. I walk a lot, but still the depression was, it's overwhelming. But it helped. When I came back here, took the blood test, the doctor said, "What's happening? The test is improved than like last year." So what you're saying is really true. To keep the healthy diet with the exercise or activity, physical activity.
And don't lose the control, for sure.
Thank you, thanks.
Does anyone have other questions?
ذكرت السؤال
كاتبتهم انا
سريعة عن النسيان، فعلا نحن ننسى لازم ناخذ فش. سؤالي على الشوفان سوري. اكو يقولون انه هو كثير مهم انت تتبع لايف ستايل، بينما يعني while other people say no it's big mistake لانه هو مو طعام للبشر. هسه احنا نتبع منه، هلا احنا ناخذ الشوفان او نوقف الشوفان.
شوفي هاي رح تسمعين بالجوجل هواية.
هي بالضبط الجوجل
اكيد سمعتي هو طعام للاحصنه صح؟
Exactly.
بالضبط. نو اتس ا كومبلكس كارب، بس هو اذا انت سالتي اجدادنا ترى ما يعرفون شنو شوفان، ما كان موجود باللايف ستايل مالتهم، ما يعرفون شنو شوفان. ممكن برول اكثر شيء ممكن يعرفوا، بس الشوفان اتس فيري نيو للدايت الموجود هسه، ف you can consume it بس depends on your portion. يعني مو معناته انه هو healthy I can take whatever I want. اوكي اكو portions للكومبلكس كارب. اوكي الهيلث بليت هذا احنا نسميه بالانس ميل. اوكي بس يعني depend on your situation احنا لازم ناخذ بورشن معين.
يعني انا البليت اعملها على الغداء، بس الشوفان هو الفطر مال ويا الحليب، هاي اللي قاعد اخذه الصبح واخلي وياه فروت حتى اكله ما ينجرح.
اكيد الشوفان انت هسه اذا انت على الهيلث بليت الشوفان شنو؟
يعني هو ده
كومبلكس كارب.
صح، بس ما قاعده احسبه البليت مالتي قاعده اقسمه بالغداء، احط سلطه، احط هاي الغداء قاعده اسوي هذا البليت.
انت لا تنسين الحليب هو مصدر البروتين صح؟
1% كنت اخذ.
Maybe tell the audience شنو شوفان in English.
Oats. So I'm sorry, I speak with the Iraqi accent. So if you are taking the oats at the morning, it's okay, take it, consume it. But it's a simple advice from me: don't fix your meal at the morning. It's weird, but new researches that say when you are fixing the same breakfast every day, it's one kind of fixable. Replace your meal. It's okay. No, take it and don't forget the milk that you are consuming is a source of protein. So your protein is the milk, your carb is the oats, and fruits. If you're taking the low glycemic index fruits like strawberry, berries, whatever, blueberry, it's very good. No, it's very good. You can just add a little bit of chia seeds, something like that. I don't know. I think the berries family is suitable than the banana. Okay. It's okay.
You're going to be charged for consultation. Does anyone else have any other questions? So I have one last question. I think it's important for people to know because I think it's very it's the reality. A lot of people don't have a family doctor. I don't have a family doctor. Dr. Kadiam, can you tell us what their options are, and can you explain what the GAP system is?
So one of the options you have is to sign up on the government's website. So there's something called the GAP, Guichet d'Accès Médecins de Famille, so GAMF. So you sign up, you put your name, you explain your medical conditions, and they'll put you on the list. And then when there's a new family doctor that's taking on patients, they'll take you at some point, but that could take a few years. Most people say, I don't have a family doctor, and they've been telling me this for the past 10 years. If they had put their name, maybe they would have had one by now. So, you know, it's a step in the right direction. But if you need an urgent consultation, or like, if it's urgent, go to the emergency, but if it's not so urgent, but you need to see a doctor, I'm sorry.
To wait 10 hours, 12 hours.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't want to wait the 10, 12 hours, there's something called the GAP, which is a Guichet d'Accès Primaire. It's for people who don't have a family doctor. You call the 811, you press option 3, and then you explain what you have, what symptoms you have, and what you want to talk to a doctor about. And then they'll find a clinic in your area, and they'll assign you to that clinic. And then you can go see a doctor. Usually they try to limit it to one issue, because they're not technically your family doctor. They're only seeing you for the issue that you called about. But it's a good start if you wanna see a family doctor in the meantime while you wait for someone to take you off the list. Some of the screening tests that we discussed today, they won't always do it in the GAP appointment, but at least the blood test, you can always ask for that. You can maybe ask for the fit test as well. So you might not get a complete workup, but you can still start with some of the things that we talked about. At least get your diabetes checked, get your cholesterol checked, and take it from there. So it's a good option.
Shukran. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you all for being part of today's conversation. I hope we're all walking away having learned something new. I know I have, so I hope the same for everyone. And how to make sure we maintain our health. So always remember the key points. Your doctor, your pharmacist, your nutritionist, they're all part of your health team. So please use them, use us. And let's give us applause.
شكرا جزيلا لكم، وإن شاء الله مدعوين إلى تناول وجبة صحية إن شاء الله من أيدي الشيف رغد ومدهم تتضمن البروتين والخضار والكارب.
يقول لهم اليوم بالذات كانت الريسيبيز اليوم بالذات الريسيبي. نعم اليوم يعني الوجبة على أساس يعني إن شاء الله تكون صحية، لأنه صدر دجاج مع خضار تستمتعون بها.
يعني هاي 80% اليوم هاي 80% وده يقول صحية، ده يقول صحية.